Two students hit near Las Vegas schools this morning has safety advocates renewing their calls for change. They say it's not just about a change in policy, but a change in mindset.
Clearly, more education needs to be done about sharing the road. It's not just adults going to work every day. There's children and young teens and young adults that are taking the bus to school, taking the bike to school, walking to school, and they deserve just as much respect on the road as the drivers do.
This comes after Metro Police aim to have less than 125 road deaths this year. That goal announced earlier this year. However, we're seeing one of the deadliest years on record with nearly 130 deaths in Metro's jurisdiction alone. Organizations and local officials from across the state now gathering with one goal in mind: to have one day have zero fatalities from traffic collisions. Good evening, I'm Marie Morterra.
And I'm Dana Wagner. This week's Traffic Summit aims to share new resources and information on how to better enforce safety on our local roads. Just this morning, Metro reported a student hit near Valley High School just off Eastern in Vegas Valley, and that's where we find our Jane Davenport. So what did you hear from those advocates at today's summit, Jane?
Dana, Marie, those advocates did not hide their concern about the current state of our roadways. And unfortunately, the news of another student getting hit on their way to school did not come as a surprise to any of them.
It's not just adults going to work every day. There's children and young teens and young adults that are taking the bus to school, taking the bike to school, walking to school.
Anita Pepper with the Nevada Office of Traffic Safety says the top issues on our roads continue to be speeding and impaired driving.
So the numbers have been trending high in Nevada for the past 10 years.
Just this year alone, Metro has reported 128 fatalities on the roads in its jurisdiction. In a post to X, Metro says that's a pace for 160 to 170 deaths by the end of this year. Advocates who've experienced the death firsthand say that type of tragedy is more painful than words can describe.
When they've got a dead body and the phone of this person is near them, and it rings and it rings and it rings and they can't answer it. And then it stops, and then it rings and rings again. It's a family member, a friend trying to reach out to that person, and they're never going to be able to.
Debbie Zielinski's daughter, Stephanie, was killed in a drunk driving crash in 1992.
It took me 10 years to be able to put one foot in front of the other.
She says Stephanie's boyfriend decided to drink and drive before getting behind the wheel that night.
And he had killed somebody else 7 months before he killed her.
Now, she works with DUI offenders in their court-ordered victim impact class, sharing her story and listening to theirs, she says, without any judgment. She sees anywhere from 50 to 75 people in her class per month.
The numbers are rising. It's not getting better, in my opinion.
But alcohol is not the only reason these offenders end up in her class. Marijuana plays a big part in impaired driving offenses, too.
Well, it's legal. They said, well, it's legal now. Well, so is alcohol. But if it impairs you, you need to make the right choice and not.
Earlier this month, 12-year-old Christopher Suarez was killed by an impaired driver on his way to school. That driver, 27-year-old Orion Brooks, admitted to using a THC pen moments before the fatal crash. Suarez is just one of more than 100 CCSD students hit walking to or from school. It's a tragedy that sparked conversation and change as advocates work to increase safety on our roads.
It's heartbreaking to think that we're coming to the holidays and that there's people that aren't going to be there this year because they've lost their lives on Nevada's roads.
And she says with Halloween coming up, drivers and parents need to take extra precaution. Halloween does land on a Friday this year, so she says if you're going out, definitely utilize rideshare, Ubers, or those designated drivers. And she says for parents, put your kids in those reflective gear outfits and make sure you're watching them on the sidewalks. Dana, Marie.
Yeah, so Jane, I know there were a lot of safety advocates out there today. What other issues were they talking about at the summit?
Absolutely. Dana, they said e-bikes and e-scooters are one of the biggest issues on the roads right now, despite law enforcement consistently reminding these e-riders that they need to follow these same road laws as these drivers. We continue to see those crashes. We've also seen counties adopt new laws to better enforce the safety regarding these e-riders, but with the newness of these e-bikes and these e-scooters, they say it's going to be a while before all those laws are successfully enforced. Dana, Marie.
All right, looking to the community to really help with such a widespread issue. Jane, thank you.
Yeah, anything to help, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just glad at least at a minimum they're talking about things that they might be able to implement, because the Clark County School District says there have been more than 108 crashes involving children so far this school year alone. There were 41 this time last year. New data also shows a 35% increase in e-bike and e-scooter incidents. District officials say the rising trend is due in part to both drivers and distracted pedestrians.
Ahead of Halloween, we spoke with Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft about how they plan to keep people safe with the Inside by 9 campaign.
We know that we're going to have a lot of people out on the roads. We're going to have a lot of pedestrians. We might have some people out celebrating the holiday. So that's a combination of things that really impact the safety in our community. So this is all about reminding people that 9 o'clock is a good time to turn out the lights, good time to head home. So really being extra cautious, slowing down a little bit, taking a little bit more time are the ways that everybody can be part of making this a safe Halloween season.
Here are some safety tips for drivers and trick-or-treaters. Never trick-or-treat alone. Also, wear reflective gear or something clearly visible. Pedestrians should stay on the sidewalk, away from cars. As for drivers, they say to drive slowly and always be prepared to stop for trick-or-treaters.
There was another crash involving a student less than an hour after the incident near Valley High School. Police say the student was riding an e-scooter when they were hit by a car near Centennial High School. They were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver did stay at the scene and they say showed no signs of impairment.